have been with us for 10 years plus. So we're quite a small organisation, but the guys who have implemented the systems have done it quite a few times, and we don't tend to send out kids. We're not also the biggest company in the world. We don't really do state taxes or very large economies, to be honest. But what we do is we do small to medium-sized countries, and we're quite happy to stay focused. That's our bread and butter. So this opportunity is actually kind of a big deal for us. We wanted to concentrate very much on getting the Pacific region right. So when we were building our products for that 3 or 4 years, when we upgraded everyone, we deliberately did not look outside the region at all until we had happy clients on the new software. We're now wishing to establish regional centres in specifically Southern Africa and the Caribbean. What is IMS? It's an integrated taxpayer-centric system. At the top, you can communicate with the system basically by online, via fax, via phone. So we can capture notes, correspondence, pretty much any correspondence, send email from the system. We're now piloting a program to send text reminders. So one of the challenges that Raymond will talk about is some of our clients don't really have a great postal service, but they've all got phones. It goes into one screen, basically, where we look at every interaction the taxpayer has done, every piece of correspondence, all the date and time stamped by username. So a full audit trail of everything that goes on as well. It's a role-based security model in the middle of it, which underpins the whole thing. We can control access down to the individual menu item level, but not just that, we actually segment the taxpayer base. So you might have your large taxpayers, your small, medium enterprise, or your VIPs. So it's a matrix system whereby you have access to certain system functions as a user, but also what taxpayers what records you can look at. If you don't have access, you just don't see them. It's not greyed out, you just don't know it's there. Then we go into what we call our core transactional modules, and they're your registrations, your returns, your taxpayer accounting, your cashiering, your revenue accounting. We capture every transaction at the lowest level, which means from a revenue reporting point of view, we can differentiate between geographic areas, for example, industry types, and the tax types collected within them, and push that to Treasury the way they want to see it. There's a reporting services module. It's all based on the Microsoft platform, and it integrates out to desktop tools, so we can use common things like Word and Excel to view our data. On the two sides here of our angry robot, we have a business intelligence database, so rather than slow down the performance system, we're carving off transactions out to the side. We can use that for decision support, for running our risk analysis, and we might update. It does update in real time, but we can normalise that data to give a better view for its intended purpose without slowing down the operational system. It integrates with the customs management system or other third-party custom systems. And over to the side again, we have a points-based risk profiling case workflow tool. And the risk profiling thing is either run on demand or just automatic. So every time you save a return or save a payment or whatever, or if it could be triggered by reports, like running your non-filers report, what it does is it goes and looks at all the parameters of all the risk queries that you've set. And let's say my threshold for popping a case for an officer to look at might be 500 points. I could have 250 points allocated for a first-time filer, 250 points if they've submitted a credit return over a certain threshold or value. On your own, doesn't pop anything, 250 plus 250, my threshold's 500, it pops a case. We can also do things like, doing a threshold of the automotive or accommodation industry for their income tax return and their percentage of their expenses relative to all their counterparts in the industry. I want to have a look at that. So, given that you're here to run a business, you've got limited resources. What you need to do is focus them on the pyramid with the enforcement stick at the top, and easy to comply for those people who want to comply at the bottom.
This slide just talks a little bit about the way that we support RMS, but it's about our whole approach to the way that we implement the product, and not only how we support it going forward. Our emphasis is on building local capacity, so working with that revenue authority or that department to build internal capacity of that staff to be as self-sustaining as possible. Again, keeping that core concept to one side. We've got a point there. Some of our clients don't even have full-time IT departments. They have staff that have their arms twisted to fulfil their normal roles, but also to fulfil an IT function. So we understand that we have to provide IT consultancy right across ICT. So firewalls, networking, servers, installations. We've either done it or we provide the consultancy for those countries to come up to that capacity. Again, like I talked about in the previous slide, we have a plan to transition to business as usual. No, this is over in year 2 or year 3. We certainly have a very strong regional approach, and I guess the conference here is an example of that. That we know that when we bring our clients together, they get a significant benefit